everybody. I'm Lori's mom, and we're going to read chapter 46 and chapter 47 in Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, right. That's right, Mom. Are you going to read with me soon?
Yeah, I'll listen to you and I'll read.
You're going to read, but you don't have a Bible with you, do you?
No, but I can hear you and listen.
Okay. All right, so we'll give that a shot. I'll let you stay on the phone and you can listen while we read.
That sounds great, Lori.
Okay, that sounds great. Ezekiel chapter 46. This is what the sovereign Lord says. The east gateway of the inner courtyard will be closed during the 6 work days each week, but it will be open on Sabbath days and the days of new moon celebration. The prince will enter the entry room of the gateway from the outside. Then he will stand by the gatepost while the priest offers his burnt offerings and peace offerings. He will bow down and worship inside the gateway passage and then go back out the way he came. They're talking about the specificity of worshiping God in the temple, Mama.
That's awesome, honey.
I know. The gateway will not be closed until evening. The common people will bow down and worship the Lord in front of this gateway on Sabbath days and the days of new moon celebration. Each Sabbath day, the prince will present to the Lord a burnt offering of 6 lambs, 1 ram, all with no deficits. He will present a grain offering of a basket of choice flour to go with the ram and whatever amount of flour he chooses to go with each lamb. And he is to offer 1 gallon of olive oil for each basket of flour. At the new moon celebrations, doesn't that sound good?
That sounds great.
He will bring 1 young bull, 6 lambs, and 1 ram, all with no defects. With a young bull, he must bring a basket of choice flour for a grain offering. With the ram, he must bring another basket of flour. And with each lamb, he is to bring whatever amount of flour he chooses to give. With each basket of flour, he must offer 1 gallon of olive oil. It sounds like they like flour and oil, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. The prince must...
Probably the oil more than the flour.
Well, you know, it's a good combination. The prince must enter the gateway through the entry room, and he must leave the same way. But when the people come in through the north gateway to worship the Lord during the religious festivals, they must leave by the south gateway, and those who enter through the south gateway must leave by the north gateway. They must never leave by the same gateway they came in, but must always use the opposite gateway. That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
The prince will enter and leave with the people on these occasions. So, at the special feasts and sacred festivals, the grain offerings will be a basket of choice flour with each young bull, another basket of flour with each ram, and as much flour as the worshiper chooses to give with each lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Give 1 gallon of olive oil with each basket of flour. When the prince offers a voluntary burnt offering or peace offering to the Lord, the east gateway to the inner courtyard will be opened for him. And he will offer his sacrifices as he does on Sabbath days. Then he will leave and the gateway will be shut behind him. I don't want to read any of it incorrectly, you know.
I'm listening.
Each morning you must sacrifice a 1-year-old lamb with no defects as a burnt offering to the Lord. With the lamb, a grain offering must also be given to the Lord, about 3 quarts of flour with 1/3 of a gallon of olive oil to moisten the choice flour. This will be a permanent law for you. The lamb, the grain offerings, and the olive oil must be given as a daily sacrifice every morning without fail. This is what the sovereign Lord says. If the prince gives a gift of land to one of his sons as his inheritance, it will belong to him and his descendants forever. But if the prince gives a gift of land from his inheritance to one of his servants, the servant may keep it only until the year of Jubilee, which comes every 15th year. At the time, the land will return to the prince. But when the prince gives gifts to his sons, those gifts will be permanent. That would be nice, huh, Mama?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I don't think we would get any land, though.
No.
And the prince may never take anyone's property by force. If he gives property to his sons, it must be from his own land, for I do not want any of my people unjustly evicted from their property. In my vision, the man brought me through the entrance beside the gateway and led me to the sacred rooms assigned to the priest. When faced towards the north, he showed me a place at the extreme west end of these rooms. He explained, this is where the priest will cook the meat from the guilt offerings and sin offerings and bake the flour from the grain offerings into bread. They will do it here to avoid carrying the sacrifices through the outer courtyard and endangering the people by transmitting holiness to them. Then he brought me back to the outer courtyard and led me to each of its 4 corners. In each corner I saw an enclosure. Each of these enclosures was 70 feet long and 52.5 feet wide, surrounded by walls. Isn't that big? Very big.
Yeah.
Along the inside of these walls was a ledge of stone with fireplaces under the ledge all the way around. The man said to me, these are the kitchens to be used by the temple assistants to boil the sacrifices offered by the people. Wow. Okay, so now can you say Ezekiel chapter 47, the river of healing?
Yes.
Say Ezekiel chapter 47.
Ezekiel chapter 47.
The river of healing.
The river of healing.
Yay. In my vision, the man brought me back to the entrance of the temple. There I saw a stream flowing east from beneath the door of the temple and passing to the right of the altar on its south side. The man brought me outside the wall through the north gateway and led me around to the eastern entrance. There I could see the water flowing out through the south side of the east gateway. Measuring as he went, he took me along the stream for 1,750 feet. And I know, and then led me across the water, was up to my ankles. He measured off another 1,750 feet and led me across again. This time the water was up to my knees. After another 1,750 feet, it was up to my waist. Then he measured another 1,750 feet, and the river was too deep to walk across. It was deep enough to swim, but too deep to walk through. Yeah, you have to be able to swim. He asked me, have you been watching Son of Man? Then he led me back along the riverbank. When I returned, I was surprised by the sight of many trees growing on both sides of the river. Then he said to me, this river flows east through the desert into the valley of the Dead Sea. The waters of this stream will make the salty waters of the Dead Sea fresh and pure. There will be swarms of living things wherever the water of this river flows. Fish will abound in the Dead Sea, for its waters will become fresh. Life will flourish wherever this water flows. Fishermen will stand along the shores of the Dead Sea, all the way from En-gedi to En-Gelim. The shores will be covered with nets, drying in the sun. Fish of every kind will fill the Dead Sea, just as they fill the Mediterranean. But the marshes and swamps will not be purified. They will still be salty. Fruit trees of all kinds will grow along both sides of the river. The leaves of these trees will never turn brown and fall, and there will always be fruit on their branches. Yum, Mom. There will be a new crop every month, for they are watered by the river flowing from the temple. The fruit will be food for the leaves for healing. Boundaries for the land were almost done. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Divide the land in this way for the 12 tribes of Israel. The descendants of Joseph will be given 2 shares of land. Otherwise, each tribe will receive an equal share. I took a solemn oath and swore that I would give this land to your ancestors, and it will now come to you as your possession. These are the boundaries of the land. The northern border will run from the Mediterranean towards Hethlon, then on through Lebo-Hamath to Zedad. Then it will run to Berothah and Sibram, which are the border between Damascus and Hamath, and finally to Hazar Hatticon on the border of Hauran. Those are some crazy names, huh, Mama? So the northern border will run from the Mediterranean to Hazar Enan on the border between Hamath to the north and Damascus to the south. The eastern border starts at the point between Hauran and Damascus and runs south along the Jordan River between Israel and Gilead past the Dead Sea, and as far south as Tamar. This will be the eastern border. The south border will go west from Tamar to the waters of Meribah at Kadesh, and then follow the course of the brook of Egypt to the Mediterranean. This will be the southern border. On the west side, the Mediterranean itself will be your border from the southern border to the point where the northern border begins, opposite Lebo-Hamath. Divide the land with these boundaries among the tribes of Israel. Distribute the land as an allotment for yourselves and for the foreigners who have joined you and are raising their families among you. They will be like native-born Israelites to you and will receive an allotment among the tribes. Wow. These foreigners are to be given land within the territory of the tribe with whom they now live. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. And that's the end of chapter 47.
That's awesome. Are you proud of me for going and getting that stuff for the DMV?
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I love you. Are you going to read with me soon?
Yes, I love that.
I love you, Mama.
I love you, Bree.
I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Love you.
Thank you for sharing the Bible with me.
Yeah, anytime. You come read it with me soon, okay?
But you come and take me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I love you. Well, that wasn't quite reading with my mom, but it was. I think that was really beneficial for her. Please keep her in your prayers, and know that just because I called my mom doesn't make the Bible any less holy or my heart any more desiring God. We will have so many obstacles in life. And yes, the Bible is holy. And as we see here in the book of Ezekiel, it is so incredibly important to make sure that holiness is something set apart. It is special to be holy and righteous and seeking after God. It is precious to be able to be in the Bible, to be praying to the Lord, and to be fellowshipping with brothers and sisters in Christ. I hope that wasn't too distracting, but I think that was very good for her. So thank you so much. And we'll finish up chapter 48 in Ezekiel coming up. So we'll see you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.